Orbital insertion completed.
Oh, I never get tired of that.
Attention vessel, you have entered restricted space. This world is off limits. You are advised to jump to safe harbor immediately. Let me check my logs. Alright, you can proceed. We'll let them know you're on your way down.
We're locked in and landed.
Hey, now the party can get started. Finally.
All right, let's get back to it. I knew I should have brought a parka. Whew.
You! Inside the barriers! Double time! You with the Xeno unit?
I pride myself on knowing everyone on this world, and I don't know you. You're with the collection team then, I presume. Either that, or you're one deeply unlucky trespasser. So then, are you collection team? Vanguard, eh? Brief said you were an eclectic group. You must have really shined out on the fringe to get assigned a task like this. Ah, then this must be the rest of your outfit.
Commander Hatum,
No need for introductions, Major Simon. Dr. Walker, your reputations precede you. As does the urgency of your mission, so I'll get to it. Now, Londinium is one of the most dangerous places in the Milky Way. It's with good reason. Terramorphs are omnipresent, and the structural damage left behind when Major Sinon's father bombed its spaceport has turned large swathes of the metropolis into a decaying labyrinth. As such, we'll be providing you all with gear, information, and uploading municipal unlock codes to your robot. Every tool you could need to succeed out there. Except one. Once you're on the other side of those barriers, you will be on your own. If you get into trouble, my people will not be coming. Do we understand each other? Precisely. I'll leave you to your preparations then. You can find your equipment in our armory, base of the tower just outside. And I do believe there's someone waiting for you there, Captain. Now, once you're outside the base, it's my personal suggestion you make a beeline to the nearby Aceles plant. It contains one of our field caches. Though I can't guarantee it won't contain anything else. I hope you all find what you're looking for out there. Robot, you're coming with me.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Commander. Percival, you all set to hook into their comms tower?
Should only take a few minutes. Let's get this done and get the hell out of here.
Percival will be scanning the city for our samples from here. When he finds one, he'll transmit the coordinates to us out in the field. All right. Head over to the armory and gear up. Once you're done, we'll meet by the entrance to the city. Give him one for me, all right?
Howdy.
match our description. The Vanguard captain? The Cabinet wanted you to have something. Make sure you had the best tools for the task at hand. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Can't chat. Don't go into the city much. Never for long. Too risky.
Galaxy's... I wouldn't say no to an upgrade. Hey, if you find a new pistol, I'd be able to...
Goodbye.
Transfer complete. Those codes will allow you to temporarily restore power to most facilities in the city. Systems should shut themselves back down automatically.
Duly noted, Commander.
All set on your gear? Are you ready to do this? Then let's get this show on the road. Kaiser, Percival, everything green on your ends?
I am ready.
Personal comm should be routed through Kaiser now. You copy that?
Roger, loud and clear.
Perhaps too loud.
Oh, you're a riot robot.
Kaiser, kick it off.
Unlock code transmitted. You may open the gate when ready.
All right. On our way into the city. Percival, where are we heading?
Running the first sweep. Got one. I see these. Not far. Old shipping yard just past the processing plant.
You're all dominated. Clean them out and keep an eye out for the more patrolling them.
Strike confirmed. Evacuation insufficient. Taking damage. Non-injury sustained.
Accommodating signal away.
That should do that. That's the last of us. No sign of the morgue, though.
Your shipping yard's just beyond the processing plant. Cache with some goodies is towards the rear of the facility.
Kaiser, we close enough for you to dial in the location of those samples from here?
Yes, they're faint, but I'm detecting multiple valid signatures. I have restored power to the containers.
Jackpot. Get down there and collect as many as you can.
Let's go, man.
those over to Kaiser, and let's get out of here.
Hey, I'd appreciate your advice. After our last talk, I was really worried what you'd say, but I always feel better. Thank you. Cora's grandpa, good old Jacob, well, he just will not stop pestering me to see Cora. And that's complicated. Right you are.
Samples secure.
Nice work. No. Earlier scan picked up a valid Terramorph sample. But, well, it's in the spaceport. And the quick route there looks like it got blasted when the port did.
There are steam tunnels under the city, which will allow us to access the spaceport.
What do you... That's right. Kaiser, how did you know that?
I am not sure.
Percival, you see any better option?
Not from where I'm standing.
You've got our answer.
Access unlocked. We may proceed.
Kaiser, this flora, this is Lazarus plant, isn't it?
Confirmed.
You know, no one even realized it was a living thing until someone got it under a microscope and saw it had cells. Can't be cultivated anywhere but Londinian. A real marvel. All these leeches. What's keeping you things warm? What's that? My God, look at it. A Lazarus in bloom. You know, we might be some of the only... What's happening? Are you serious? Heat leeches are terramorphs.
What? Those little nuisances can do that? Holy mother...
You just saw that, right? You would tell me if I was losing my mind. That heat leech became a terramorph. The pests that have snuck onto every planet are baby terramorphs. Heat leeches hide out in ships, sneak away after landing, and then, with time, they transform. We just found out how terramorphs move between planets. I am sincerely inclined to agree, but current evidence suggests nature manages it just fine. The Lazarus plant. It's clearly an accelerant for the terramorph, a heat leech transformation process. Make one into the other in an instant. But that means if anyone knew about this, they could trigger a terramorph spawning. You could sneak a leech into a city, or even multiple leeches, into a place like New Atlantis. Good God. The attack on New Atlantis, could someone have set that up? Me neither. You'd have to know this all exists, first and foremost.
Well, we're never gonna know if you don't catch that thing. Get after it!
We may proceed.
Go! Uploaded them myself.
Beginning analysis. It is a match. This suggests with high certainty that the Lazarus plant was used to trigger the attacks on both planets.
There's no way a plant this rare, this fragile, just shows up here, New Atlantis, and Tau Ceti. The transformations on those worlds, they must have been triggered by human hands. Captain, do you understand what it is we just stumbled on here? Exactly. Someone saw the Lazarus plant and realized the ends it could be put to.
Using implements of nature as weapons of war. Where have I heard that before?
Our Xenoweapons group never dealt with anything like this, though they probably would have liked to. No, whoever found this, they likely never expected they'd get caught. Makes some sense, actually. Tau Ceti was likely their first test, someplace remote where no one would question a few settlers going missing. Ensure the big show, the attack on New Atlantis, would be a success. And the timing of that one, it couldn't have been just luck that it happened right when we were asking the cabinet to do something about the Terramorphs. These attacks, I think someone planned them to set all this in motion. It can't. At least, I didn't think it could. But maybe if we're right about this, someone found a way. They certainly were. But having this answer, well, it raises a couple big questions. Who could pull something like this off? And why?
Let's save the discussion for when you all aren't standing in the universe's closest equivalent to hell frozen over. If we're gonna do anything to prevent more Terramorph attacks, human cause or otherwise, we need that final sample.
Roger that. Kaiser, get us into the spaceport?
The entrance is this way. Sufficient power to the lock mechanism.
Anyone got ideas where we could get some extra juice?
Local power looks like it was controlled in the security office. Upper floor.
Captain and I can scout it out. Kaiser, see if you can't find another way to get it open.
Roger that. I have restored power to the office entrance. You may proceed.
And there's the control panel. Still looks operable. Of all the things to survive.
Reactivated. Error. Control system reboot required.
And we do that. Ah, Captain. I think I...
Reboot engaged. Running diagnostic. Diagnostic complete. Multiple systems unavailable. Warning. Priority safety concern detected. Exterior hatch power restored.
Back in business.
Warning. Emergency recorder message detected. Transcription process engaged. Playback initiated.
Admiral Senna, we need to make the evacuation request.
That's my father he's addressing. He was here? Didn't think he'd have the guts to look those soldiers in the eye before blowing this place to pieces.
Admiral!
It just transformed. An invisible weapon. No planet would be safe. Colonel, the troops that closed off the sewers after my evaluation, they're all in this facility.
Other than our casualties, yes, sir.
Good. Get them into defensive positions around the spaceport. No one leaves. I'll send ships as soon as possible.
Thank God. None of us wanted to go down swarmed by those things.
That won't be your fate, Colonel. You have my word.
Transcription complete. Physical copy available.
An invisible weapon. He knew. He knew about the Lazarus plant. Grab that recording. We should talk. Victus. He destroyed this place. Killed these people to keep what he knew about the Lazarus plant and the Terramorphs and all this a secret. Didn't he? The recording said it all. He saw the potential of the plant as a weapon and hid it away. He killed those people. Condemned this city to keep them from sharing what they might have seen. He was
No way that justifies slaughtering his own troops. Way to go, UC. Classy as always.
A calculated loss. These soldiers for the rest of the galaxy. That sounds exactly like what my father would do. But it doesn't, it can't justify slaughter. But I guess that's just another part of his sick legacy now. He thought he was protecting us all, taking the secret to his grave. Only he didn't succeed. Now someone else knows about the Lazarus plant and is using it exactly how he feared. That's exactly right. Let's move. The settled systems are counting on us.
You got time for a quick chat? I appreciate it when you're able.
Try it now.
Unlock successful.
Guys, your sample, it moved. I'd be real careful out there if I were you.
That doesn't sound good. Eyes peeled. Up. Time to get the hell out of here. Percival, you should unplug and find somewhere we can talk. Privately.
On it. See you soon. Look at all of you. Back from the underworld. Got pretty frantic on the comms towards the end there. But it sounded like this was a success. Got everything we need to put this plan in motion. Hey.
Alright, one sec, be right. Let's see, Grandma. Guess I.
Was worried about that myself, though I know I wasn't nearly as much at risk of limb loss as you all were. Now, my connection might have gotten a bit fuzzy there, but do I have it right that Vay Victus knew about this damn plant?
That's what it sounded like.
Guess the old Admiral must have told someone what he learned. Even he's not clever enough to pull off an attack like that from the great beyond. No ghost is that clever.
But it's clear someone knows about the plant and realized what ends it could be put towards. Captain, we need to get these samples back to the lab and verify we'll be able to handle cleaning up the leeches as well as the terramorphs. But in the interim, do you think you could look into what we uncovered? See if you can turn up any information on who might have committed the attacks?
If it were me, I'd start at the scene of the crime, New Atlantis.
Perfect. Once you finish your investigation, we'll meet you outside the cabinet chambers. They're gonna want to hear this. Take care of yourself. No telling who might be involved.
Instant lock on your fact-finding mission.
Someone's figured out how to use the terramorphs as weapons. Thought we'd learned our lesson.
Time.
Engine's ready. Waiting on your word, Captain.
So, Miss Stay Up Late reading under the covers? Did you learn anything new from your book last night?
Space.
Don't pretend to be mad at me.
Where
I know you aren't really.
Next?
I learned that back on Earth, people used to use the stars to navigate. That's so cool. But I guess it only worked because they just lived on one planet. And that sounds boring.
Remind me one of these days to tell you the tale of a certain Solomon Coe, where his stargazing landed him. Oh, I never get tired of that.
Hey, what can I do for you? Got anything you need to offload? Trade Authority's always buying. Kiosk right here for you. Okay, no problem.
scanned as you enter the city, please. Okay.
Just doesn't add up.
When the time's right, I'd appreciate a chat. It's good to be out and about. Lives get stuffy sometimes. I'd appreciate your advice. After our last talk, I was really worried what you'd say, but I always feel better. Thank you. Cora's grandpa, good old Jacob, well, he just will not stop pestering me to see Cora. And that's complicated. I mean, can you blame them? She's something else. But things with my dad, my early years, they weren't good. My mother died when I was 7. Some people have such strong memories from their early life. Me, I mean, I remember her. I have some pictures. I remember the feelings, but just a few clear memories. Odd thought. I just can't imagine what that would have been like. I'd probably be happier. Family might be tighter. Yeah, well. So, Jacob raised me on his own. And shit, maybe I don't give him enough credit. I mean, I know how tough it is. But he was strict, hard. Dad was a longtime civil servant, a big man in government. And he had a future all laid out for me. Man, could he get his hooks into you. He was scary good at that. Maybe. But it was tough to live up to his exacting expectations. But I tried. I felt the weight of legacy. I wanted to do him proud. He said I had to learn the business, run some freight, see how credits flow, speak the language. Meanwhile, he's working some angle for a government job for me after. That sounded even more miserable than what I was doing. I know, right? Even after I was with the Rangers, Dad was just always needling, angling for me to join the government. But by then I knew myself more, and I could stand up to him. And Lillian, well, she helped. If I let Jacob into Cora's life, he'll dream up some big future for her and tie her into knots like he did with me. A man could teach a masterclass in manipulation. Yeah, but she's only 12 and... Well, I see what you did there. If I just flat out say no, I'm a hypocrite, right? I guess I got more to think about. So this is where the UC hides all the scary shit they're doing. What I think the hell all the Rangers are doing right now. That's a fair cop.
Well, what a pleasant surprise. When I heard you and Hadrian were headed for Londinian of all places, I presumed you must be onto something big. Did you find what you were looking for? How could you know? You're telling the truth, aren't you? You want to hear the words, then? I did it. The Terramorph attacks on Tau Ceti. New Atlantis. My doing. Years of coordination between my associate and I. Figuring out how to deploy the Lazarus plant's pollen outside of Londinian. Learning to synthesize it. Use it as a weapon. Now, Being as clever as you are, I'm sure you have thoughts on why I might do such a thing. All in due time. First, I want to see if you're truly as astute as you appear. So why would someone like me go through all this trouble? You couldn't be more right. The attacks were a correction. When I discovered the plant, I did consider handing over what I'd found, but we were at war. And I couldn't risk information that dangerous falling into the wrong hands. So I ordered the bombing of the Londinian spaceport, fixing two problems at once. Halting the spread of the city's terramorph outbreak, and sealing away knowledge of the plant's potential. Simple to say now, but with the outbreak raging from a barely understood source, the moment demanded quick action. So I did what was required. I removed the dangerous variable from an already catastrophic war. But then, as the war ended, my trial, my execution, I made a decision. After all, I'd given everything for the colonies. My life as I knew it included. And what did I get in return? Was there any effort by the UC to protect my legacy? My daughter's legacy? No. We were sacrificed when all we did was serve. So I kept what I'd learned and arranged the attacks to set things right again. My daughter. She becomes a hero. I become a trusted advisor, having found Kaiser, the research team, and cement my new position of influence when I hand them the name of the person responsible for the attack on New Atlantis. The dear departed Dr. Reginald Orlays, the associate who aided me all these years, and whom I always slated to take the fall. What luck he was stopped dead before he could hurt anyone else. His decades on the run brought to an end by another unlikely hero. You. It wasn't easy. But the beauty of being loathed is that people will do whatever they can not to deal with you. They wanted to pretend I didn't exist. And so I used their blind eye to my advantage. Still, establishing a back channel to Orlays via the UC recovery teams was painstaking work. I've led campaigns less nerve-wracking. They believed they were luring in wanted criminals, but were in fact delivering precisely encoded slates, filled with instructions invisible to any but their recipient, dropped off at just the right moments to fall into the proper hands. All without the UC realizing whom you were actually dealing with. Slow work. But as you can see, ultimately effective. There are no heroes without a villain. I simply arranged the opportunity for us to overcome one and become the other. And we all benefited. It's why I had Orlays reprogram Kaiser. Had that old machine guide you to where I found the plant all those years ago. I went to great lengths to ensure your and Hadrian's success. And look at the results. I know for a fact the Cabinet's planning to honor both you and Hadrian once this is all done. Isn't that preferable to languishing away in obscurity? Running jobs on the tail end of nowhere for the Vanguard? With You're being honored only because I arranged the situations where it could happen. Be grateful. And let's not forget the importance of our actual endgame. Eliminating the Terramorphs. Securing knowledge of the Lazarus plant. What we've set in motion is going to protect thousands, maybe millions of lives. I'm simply requesting one more life be protected. Mine. I've already sent along the evidence of Orleza's role in the attacks to the cabinet, leaving out my own involvement. All I ask is that you confirm as much to the cabinet. Tell them that it was Orlez and Orlez alone. After all, I do still have a long list of threats to the UC. This needn't be the end of our good works together. And how many have you killed to get where you are now? There are no great works that don't cost lives, Captain. Whether it's winning a war, or digging a tram tunnel. So we sacrificed a few dozen in the attacks to possibly protect millions. That seems like a fair exchange to me. I only hope you'll see the same, and leave my name out of the discussions to come. Well, I do hope you'll keep the larger perspective in mind, Captain. We've done something great here. Let's not squander the opportunity to do more.
Oh, I didn't see that. Shit. I was just on Nexus like past 20 minutes. Way longer. I'm debating if I want to get that community patch or not. Like, it's so early in the game.
Your friend has to stay here.
Says it's still gonna be fixing these bugs. Yeah, but my ship's a bunch of holding cells, yeah. Cells and like, I just downloaded Deadly Hazards. I think I'm gonna try it next new game. I'm not gonna do that shit now. Like,
Perfect timing.
Have different
we just got
space suits. You gotta.
So on our end, good news. The microbe and the Asylees
The
are both
environments
as effective
matter.
against heat leeches as they are
Gotta
against
have
terramorphs.
oxygen tanks.
Means either plan
I
should
was
work
just
for
reading
clearing
up on
those
that
critters
shit.
off our worlds.
Considering what the Lazarus plant is capable of, I don't think we can deal with those things fast enough. I already sent along info to the cabinet to get them up to speed. So what about your end? Did you find anything? Any leads on who might have committed the attacks?
Orlays? Reginald Orlays? He did this? I didn't think he was still alive. You're sure it was him? Oh yeah. Both worked for UC Defense Research way back when. Different departments, but everyone knew Orlays. Had a mean eye for weapons tech. And a meaner temper. Wasn't exactly a surprise when he fled instead of standing trial after the Colony War. But finding out he's taken up mass murder in the years since, that is a shock. You're sure about this?
That's some impressive work. So then give us the rundown. Where's Orlays now? Were you able to bring him in? I'm sorry to hear that. Those sorts of missions are always tough. Any idea why he might have done it? Or what he was doing with the plant? Another madman justifying butchery. Well, at least he won't be able to hurt anybody else now. Might be the best we could ask for, given the circumstances. So I guess there's nothing else to do but get this all in front of the cabinet. Unless there were other things we needed to discuss. This might be our last opportunity to talk things through before the cabinet weighs in on a decision regarding the terramorphs. Asylees aren't hostile to humans, but they are megafauna. If someone decides to pick a fight with one, it could get ugly. But they've already been spread far and wide once before when the UC was raising them as livestock, so the risk of introducing them to new worlds is minimal. Using them to clean up the terramorphs and leeches, though, it's not going to be nearly as expedient as the microbe would be. Given what we know now about the Lazarus plant, the speed of the job does matter. But going with the Asylees, we're at least dealing with known risks.
Microbe is gonna make the cleanup a whole lot quicker. If we're concerned about this Lazarus plant getting deployed again, that's the way to go.
The cabinet can secure the Lazarus plant, and then we're not risking any surprises when it comes to dealing with a microbe.
You're being paranoid. You know the science. You know we can make this safe.
I do know the science. I also know math. And a 1 in a million chance of a mutation isn't 0. So I guess we're still in discussion. Probably best at this point to let the cabinet weigh in, see if they have a preference. And here we go.
Welcome back, all of you. I wish we were meeting under better circumstances. But according to Hadrian's report, and the second one I just received, it seems the Terramorph attack on New Atlantis was no random occurrence, but a planned strike. Is what I'm reading here true? The second report claims to know the perpetrator as well. Did Reginald Orlays actually commit these attacks, Captain?
That appears to be the case, ma'am. The captain tracked that information down just after our trip to Londinian.
Reginald Olace? Wasn't there a report he'd been killed recently?
Body was found floating around Etheria. Report mentioned you were sent to try and bring him in, Captain. I guess that didn't go according to plan.
Ah, yes. I was told about your mission and who ordered it. Did you two suspect at the time Orlays might have been involved in the attacks?
And they're working on it. Just got the TIE fighter pilot outfit. So yeah, the conversion
it appears you were ahead of the
coming along
curve.
nicely.
This report contains definitive evidence Orlays
I
triggered
can't
the
wait
attacks
for
via
Vader's
this
outfit,
Lazarus plant. The
Palpatine,
captain and Major
Palpatine's
Sinan
outfit.
uncovered.
Simply harrowing.
Seen Obi-Wan and shit, but I don't
Though
know
it
if
would
I
have been
want.
preferable for him to have finally faced the UC's justice, it seems both of you are to be commended for ensuring he was dealt with before he could strike again. You have our thanks. Now, with our villain unmasked, we can attend to the other matters at hand. With the threads you've brought together here, the Lazarus plant, the attacks, the heat leeches, the three of you have likely spared thousands of lives. But it now falls to the cabinet to ensure this can never happen again. As such, the cabinet will be securing the Lazarus plant on Londinian. All materials related to the plant will be classified to ensure no one else learns its true nature.
A sound decision, Madam President. Tell the Freestar Collective. Why? So they have another tool to utilize against us?
I'm in agreement. I fail to see the value here.
The UC, they seem more towards the Empire, right? Like Starfield, I don't know if I want to equate the Starborn to Jedi. Like, I guess you could because of the powers and shit. But like, to me, I feel like I just want the cosmetics.
We're waiting on you, Captain.
Until like the Freestar, until they convert the Freestar to the Rebel, then you gotta have, like, once that conversion is done, right? It's a Star Wars conversion. Then you gotta have some NPC Starborn Jedis, so you could put some Jedis running. Like, you could have them scarce. Like, you might see maybe one hanging out on Mars. You know what I mean? You're not gonna see him on New Atlantis. You're not gonna see him in Killer City. But you might see him in a Killer City. They're rebels. But like, yeah,
Gather
you
your
don't want
thoughts,
to plant.
and let's continue.
I mean, like, I don't want to plant Jedi's around. Because this is the time when the Empire is in charge. So, gotta get Palpatine. But Palpatine's gonna be Vic Victus. And I guess you said it. She could be Vader. She could be dressed up as Vader. Because I'm gonna put, definitely when Palpatine shit, because somebody's gonna do that shit. Vic Victus is perfect for that. You know what I mean? But yeah, I've been thinking about that shit. Because, like, I would like to have some NPC Jedi Starborn shit. Because they're Starborn, so that's not a problem. Like, that shit gotta wait till the creation kit come out. Basically gonna have to build like a faction, but a small faction, man. Like, again, this is Order 66, right? So I would say like 10 to 20 Jedis at the most in the game. Like, not even, I would say like 10, because you can't really, I don't want to have a lot of them motherfuckers. We got to figure out the mechanics on how the faction work and how you can add factions to the point of interest. So you got, so you know, you randomly surveying a planet and you might stumble on I'll say it's civilian outpost, but then maybe one of the bad guy camps, like a research lab, might find a Jedi there. Because if you're role playing Empire, you're gonna want to fight that Jedi. But if you're a rebel, you know what I mean? See that? Man, gotta wait for the creation kit, because like you gotta see how these faction shit work. Because like the Jedi's would make them like sort of a faction close to the rebel, to the Free Star. They're not Free Star, but like, you know what I mean? Like, they're connected to them though. I don't know how it works. Like the Dark Brotherhood and the Thieves Guild. Even though the Thieves Guild and Dark Brotherhood practically almost the same, the Thieves Guild, they don't kill. I mean, the Brotherhood will kill you, but they only kill you from the contract. They don't go out killing. Like, there's rules. But they're kind of cousins. I always looked at it that way. The Thieves Guild and the Brotherhood, they're cousins. And they mention each other, but I don't know. Let's see how the faction shit
Take your
out.
time.
Man. Full Star Wars conversion is fucking crazy though. When it's a point of interest and you see a Jedi looting some shit.
Hell, Cora would handle this.
You
situation
rebel
better than the
scum!
whole UC
You're
high
traded
command.
to the Alliance.
That is an interesting idea.
He's over here
A
fucking
grand
using
gesture,
the powers and
showing
shit trying to fuck
definitively
you
this
up.
cabinet doesn't think like those of the past.
So, you want us to make nice with the collective by
And of
sharing our
course-
state secrets?
You gotta have
No,
secret
I want
sifs.
us to display plainly the UC's
Like
actual
Darth Maul and
intentions.
shit.
That the plant will never be used as a weapon again.
That does.
You know what I mean? But they're not associated with the Empire. Maybe Vader has a little faction. You know.
Sound worthwhile, Chief
That shit to
Kulkarni.
think about. But
Very
it
well.
could definitely be done.
We'll get the collective involved. Thank you for the suggestion, Captain. So then, to our final topic. The Cabinet has agreed to implement a plan that will deal with the Terramorph, and now also Heat Leech presence on human worlds. In fact, we've already begun enacting measures to check all UC ports and settlements for undiscovered nests. But we all understand this is only a partial solution. The project we're embarking on will be a long and difficult one. So our first step must be deciding how exactly this all will be handled.
Madam President, this microbe is clearly too much of a risk. The Aseles are the safer approach.
To someone with limited... knowledge of biology, perhaps? The technology behind the microbe is solved science, Madam President.
Or it breaks.
It isn't dangerous. Using it to wipe out the Terramorphs would be the quickest path to protecting humanity.
And fast results always lead to the best outcomes, don't they?
As you can see, there remains debate among the Cabinet. We were hoping your group might issue a recommendation. Major?
We've been having similar debates ourselves, but the captain has yet to weigh in.
I see. Captain, I know this may not be your area of expertise, but we'd like to know your take on the matter.
I'm in full agreement. No need be delving into unpredictable sciences.
I expect my evening constitutionals are about to become a whole lot more eventful.
Hardly. You may just have a little more company than before.
Order, please. And Major Sinan? Dr. Walker, you'd find this acceptable?
We trust the captain's judgment.
Then the matter is settled. We'll begin the process immediately. Today marks day one for the United Colonies Terramorph Management Division, making you three the founding members of the TMD. As befits such a group, the Cabinet wanted to display its gratitude. Today, we will be adding 3 new Class 1 citizens to our ranks.
Class 1? For the 3 of us? Are you joking?
What he means to say is, thank you, ma'am.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
Then I expect you'll be quite pleased. Now, there's much to be done. Major Sanan, Dr. Walker, I hope you two are willing to continue your efforts spearheading the TMD's research on Mars.
We'd be honored, ma'am.
As for you, Captain, the Vanguard will be providing much of the on-the-ground support for the TMD. As a member of both the Vanguard and the TMD, I believe you'll have your pick of duties. Speak to your commander, Tuala, if I recall correctly. He should be able to provide you with assignments going forward, plus help you collect the benefits that come with being named Class 1. On behalf of the whole of the United Colonies, you have our sincerest gratitude. This meeting is adjourned.
Yeah, man. Like the UC shit is good, but it's so short. Done. Now all that's left is Ryujin and then a shit ton of side quests. Oh, there it goes. Speak to Vic Victus about working together. Alright, cool.
I don't know about you, but a fella could do a lot worse in Constellation. I found some stuff. Goodbye.
If I ever see another heat leech, it'll be too soon.
Seems you're quite the investment.
Authorized personnel only. Your friend has to stay here.
What's this? Just you then? No UC executioner. So the cabinet knows the truth about Orlays. Splendid. That means you and I can get to work. I'll tell you why. Because the UC was, and is, full of people unwilling to pay the price required for victory. In the last days of the war, the UC was on the precipice of executing a final great assault on the Freestar Collective home system of Cheyenne. A massive strike, capable of obliterating Freestar Central Command and ending the conflict at long last. I thought I'd had myself, but such invasions are costly, in resources and lives. Others in the UC believed the blockade would be sufficient to bring the Freestar Collective to its knees. But they were wrong. So instead, they sacrificed far more lives in a protracted war, rather than doing the right thing from the start, and demolishing the Freestar capital when they have the chance. But just before we could launch the strike, word came from Londinian. The Terramorph outbreak had begun. I went to the city to assess the state of things, and discovered the Lazarus plant. We couldn't spare ships for a proper quarantine, so it was my decision to destroy the spaceport and seal off the city. Deal with it quickly, so we could get back to winning the war. I had a single ship. What would you have had me do? Ask them and the Terramorphs to form a line, and the UC fleet was spread thin already. No, I touched down, assessed the situation, made a decision, and returned to the task at hand. Very well. So upon my return from Londinian, we proceeded with our killing blow. Initially, we had great success against the mess the Freestar Collective called the Navy. But then the Freestar citizenry decided to get involved. Dozens of civilian ships jumping in to shield their military counterparts. I, of course, had no trouble firing on what should have been designated enemy vessels. But my peers had lost the stomach for it. So many lives lost already, they wailed. So the great UC Navy was routed by a mob. They picked our ships apart. The UC surrendered not long after. And thus rang the death knell for the great UC. You're welcome to whatever opinions you'd like. But had I been listened to, you have my word, we both wouldn't be sitting here. What lost the UC the war was cowardice. We were in the middle of an all-out war, Captain. Committing ships to save the city would have left another undefended. Which city would you prefer I'd sacrificed? Sidonia? Gagarin? New Atlantis? And if anyone else had learned about the Lazarus plant, well, the risk was too great. I weighed the options and made the call. Once we'd cracked synthesizing the Lazarus plant's pollen, research that took years in and of itself, the attacks were exceedingly simple. Orlaze's ship would land on our target, bearing a few heat leeches. Nothing that would raise suspicion. Then Lazarus pollen was pumped out of the ship during liftoff from the planet's surface. Shortly thereafter, an attack. A strike perpetrated in mere moments, with no one being the wiser.
Oops, wrong button. I want your missions.
How may I be of service? Well, thanks to our combined efforts, the Sanan name has more clout with the cabinet than it has in years. I hope to build on that. I have a long list of names civilized society would be better without. I just need someone to help me remove them from the picture. Should we begin the hunt? Or did you have questions? Just what I was hoping to hear. There's a slate waiting for you in the transfer system. Those are the details for our first, person of interest. Fine.
Joke's on him. We're bringing him to justice, bud.
And make the galaxy a better place for it. Though I would expect some resistance when trying to approach the target. Deal with any you encounter.
You did it.
You're cleared for entrance. Authorized personnel only. Your friend has to stay here.
Damn, son, must be a lonely life. Find an inaccessible door. I think I added this. Bugging out. What? Yeah, I don't know if I add this community. I'm thinking about any. No, I think I gotta get up or get the stuff ready tomorrow and make a chicken instead of a turkey because it's only three, and both of these they eat like fucking kids. They barely eat anything. I don't know. I was thinking I might play my Skyrim tomorrow on a permadeath. Testing that shit out. Let me see if that shit boots. See. Oh, might do Skyrim for Thanksgiving and back to Starfield. Yeah, I moved the shit over. So it'll break. Plus, I was watching Fenrir the other day and like, oh, I get inspiration from the game. Like I stole a lot of his shit, so. But no, it's been a minute, like 3 months. No, it's been longer than that. I was playing Fallout on my motherboard, playing Fallout for like a month. I finished permit. Finally finished. Took 2 years. It took me 2 years. I've been doing permadeath since I got the fucking PC. It took me 2 years to fucking almost 2.5. So it should take for start. It's like 3 minutes to load. Got over like 2,600 miles. Like this number's a lie. I can't wait for Kid Starfield. I'm definitely gonna dive into that shit. Skyrim, I touched it. For Fallout, nah, I didn't even fuck Fallout. Fallout was stupid. Skyrim, I dabbled in that shit. Yeah, I'm gonna fuck shit. Okay. 2.5 minutes. Skyrim. It's laptop. Gotta buy a cheap back. Check. Come out. Instant memory just came back. I moved the mouse before it loads. Sometimes it crashes on load. Because of the camera. Damn, son. It's been a minute. Have you ever seen my Skyrim spider? Fucking insane.
Quickly.
Goddamn, come on, scripts. He said tomorrow, man, Thanksgiving. For Thanksgiving, do some Skyrim permadeath. And I might wean off between Skyrim and Starfield. I mean, it's gonna be more Starfield, but like every so often, I might do a permadeath Skyrim. Not gonna lie, I'm starting to miss it because it's different. It's different.
I offer you solutions, you try to poke holes.
You got the in-laws. I be freaking cooking. And be in between playing this. Yeah. Anyways, man. Enjoy your holidays, bro. Enjoy the food. Enjoy your family. Appreciate you hanging out, brother. And I'm out. I am tired.